welcome back to this episode of PittsburgHER. This is a collaboration between Yajagup Media and Pittsburgh Magazine. Consider each episode an episode like you're hanging out with your dear friends, right? Or your coworkers or people who you were hanging out with in college, but those conversations that you have with your female friends that you kind of hope other females have. In fact, since we started this, I have to tell you that there's a woman who stopped me at a musical and said, I saw that this is happening, and I, if you don't mind, would like to reach out with a couple of topics.
Yes.
Listen, my messenger, I won't look at it because there are 11 things that she would like us to talk about. So I'm really excited. We're never going to be like dry on topic, so it's pretty cool. So anyway, we are back. I'm Rachael.
I'm Sarah.
Christy.
I'm Jocelyn.
I'm Bria, aka DJ Femi.
And I felt like that was like the Mickey Mouse Club, but
I know. Don't do that.
So we are back, and we keep laughing about the fact that we have a bowl, and we're calling it Shelby for right now.
We are calling it Shelby. Your phone is here, and you are getting text with alerts that your son has successfully completed a drive, but it came up as an exclamation point, and so mom brain went on. And I saw
everyone's good.
Exclamation point, and I saw Roman, and I was like, hang on, we might have to pause.
He's 22, so it's
I don't care. He completed a risky drive. Like. I want an
Good
alert.
for Roman.
All that risky means is he drove quickly. You know that, right? Like that's what this is. It just says he went over a speed limit. Is basically what I've learned. So anyway, welcome back. We're really glad to be here. And before we dive into our topic bowl that we have not completely decided upon yet, we thought instead of being headline driven all the time, we would go with a fun question. What's the one thing that's always in your refrigerator? If we were to walk in, you can rest assured that that item is going to be there. Do you want me to start with you, or should I go to the doctor who I think has an answer?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
It's pickles.
Yes.
I mean, like any Pittsburgher probably, but I have so many jars of pickles.
Different kinds?
Because
all different kinds, like
Okay.
spicy ones, sweet ones, little ones, gherkins, cornichons, dill, sandwich slices.
Wow.
So many.
very
A pickle for
Pittsburgh.
every occasion. I'll put pickles in anything.
Really?
I put pickles in drinks. Well, they have a whole pickle menu at, is it
Picklesburg.
Popeyes? No, it just came out like this
Popeyes,
week.
yeah.
This is not
Really?
sponsored. They have pickle lemonade and like
I saw
pickle
that.
chicken
At
and like
Popeyes?
I think
I
it's
just
Popeyes.
saw that
It might,
commercial.
if it's Chick-fil-A, I'm gonna feel really bad. It's like
No, it's Popeyes.
It's Popeyes?
Yeah, I
Okay,
just saw
there
the
you go.
commercial.
Not sponsored, but
Not
yeah.
sponsored, it is.
Yeah, I like always, if I have like the juice, I like save. So I have, if the pickles are gone, I save the juice to make martinis, to put in beer, to
It's a
marinate
good
chicken.
It's a good, healthy, right? Don't they say that that's good
very
for electrolytes
hydrating.
too?
Yeah.
How about that?
So yeah, pickles.
Rumor has it that a lot of athletes use that for training. I don't
do.
know if that's true. Okay.
I think Pittsburgh Pickle Company actually sells
Yes,
it.
they do.
In,
Yeah.
It's like this divine brine.
Yes. I did buy it once and
called
tried
that?
to use it for my drink purposes, but
Yeah.
I will say that like an actual jar
need
of
like
pickle
the
juice
real pickle juice.
is I felt it was a little better. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Fair enough.
to each
Anyone
their own,
else?
that's my answer.
Bria, do you have something in particular? No.
I always have Heinz ketchup.
That was mine.
That's just like ever since growing up, no other ketchup, specifically Heinz
okay.
ketchup.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think if you live here,
Big
and
bottle,
you had
little
some-
bottle, multiple bottles of Heinz ketchup.
Yeah. Look at you guys, and you're the
Delicious.
same.
Very
I am the
Pittsburgh.
Always
same.
ketchup.
Always ketchup.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing else. I'm just not. I mean, I think now since I've been a mom, we could pretty much say milk. My kids drink so much milk, like cow milk, which was not my jam, but I know, but they drink it.
I've
and
even
they're
gotten my
boys
kids
and they're
to
growing,
almond.
I don't know. They'll drink oat sometimes.
Still sweeter.
Yeah,
there you
but
go.
no, just like whole milk that we get from it used to be the Swickley Confectionery, now it's called Scoops, but it comes in a glass bottle.
The ice cream place?
Yes. Yes. Again, not sponsored. But yeah.
All right, Christy, what's in your fridge? It's like, what's in your wallet?
Yeah, we need to know
Beer,
what's in
wine?
that. Beer.
Not another
Beer. I know it. Any
Today
particular
is National
type?
Beer Day.
Yeah,
Yes.
So
Any
that sounds
particular
good.
type?
Right now, I have like always lots of rando, lots of
Okay.
isolate mango, but
Why? Why do
I
you
actually
have that?
like that.
Do
I like
you?
isolate mango. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not a beer
So
type.
you have a mango over the next day, but
A mango?
Mangover.
Stick City in Mars makes really, really good, totally underrated beer. They're great. They really care about the environment, hence Stick City. They're a wonderful family, and I love them. So go to Mars. I grew up in Cranberry, but it was a Mars zip code back then.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm out that way, I go to Stick City, and they're just great. It's a really cool, kind of like a log cabin type of place. But that's what's in my fridge right now.
Love that.
I'm not a good Pittsburgher like you guys. I don't think I have anything.
Beer, pickles, and
Clearly
ketchup.
not very
Pittsburgh. That's the 4 food groups.
Yeah. I think I would say either like leftover sauce, like that I made, like homemade spaghetti sauce, because then they might need it, or sriracha, which I don't eat. So there's that.
Just
My
for
family
your
loves
family?
sriracha. Yeah, they put we put that blank on everything. Yeah. I don't know if it's
All
sriracha.
these ads that were spitting out.
Frank's. That's Frank's.
It's Frank's,
right?
yeah, there you go. Nonetheless, yeah, that's what I would think is in my fridge. So, what a great little convo to have. Which leads us right to the bowl that could go into the refrigerator, maybe, but not really.
Shelby.
It's too pretty.
Shelby's not going
Shelby, what do you have for us?
to put anything.
And that one popped out. But
I don't know why we decided
It wasn't by choice.
No, it's not.
We
Okay,
said
let's see.
Truvy.
Oh, this is fun.
Oh boy. Drum.
All right. I guess it says, how do, I'm going to do we, live with and utilize what are considered to be our personality flaws? So, like, to talk, how have you used, like, I guess your flaws or weaknesses or downfalls and made them into something useful or shiny in your life? I paraphrased a little bit, but I think that's what the question means.
I love that.
That's a good question.
We're
have
told there's
flaws. I have a ton of
Thoughts.
flaws. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many people, look at me, I'm speaking up first. That's it,
Yeah.
basically. Like, when I was a kid in school, I was always like, had my hand up first, always had an answer. I was always like,
yeah.
my nickname growing up was Bossy Jossie. And so,
Oh my gosh.
Right.
We need to
Natural
So-
born leader.
I mean, yeah, like, there are memes about this now. It's like, to all of the bossy girls who were told that they answered too many questions in class, like, how's your successful career going?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I remember getting that feedback a lot as a kid.
But
like,
is it-
you
but
raise
it-
your hand too much?
You know, and not to
Raise
sound
your
like
hand too much?
that mom.
Did they tell boys that?
No.
I'm so bad. I'm in school. I'm going back
I
there.
mean, they were great, but like, yeah, they're like, you have to give other kids a chance. I'm like, but I know the answer, and you asked.
And he
Hey, they should be faster. Does he know the answer? No.
But I guess what I was going to say is, and I've learned this through, wisdom and being older, but who determines what that flaw is, really? Unless it's what you are determining you feel that maybe you need to get over. And so I would say, my husband and my work husband would concur that I have this issue where I think for them.
Oh, you make assumptions?
Finish the
No,
sentence.
Sarah, I don't assume. I just think for them. I
just
just
think
know what
for
their
them.
answers.
The sentence,
answer for them
sentence
also?
finisher.
Oh.
Yes.
Are you
How much the
right?
sentences?
No, I'm not always right. I
Oh.
can certainly admit that I'm wrong. It's not like that kind of thing where I say like only I'm correct.
It's not a flaw if you're right.
No, I just think
You're
that
just
it's
right.
I'm too a strong personality, and I think that just comes across sometimes differently depending on who the person is. But I think that I learned how to read a room at a young age because I had to.
Yeah.
And so I think that I can sort of sit back. Of course, John always says sit on your hands, but I do sit back sometimes and look at things like, is it this time? Is it appropriate kind of thing? But I think my need to answer for people or to think that I have the answer for them. So it's sort of similar to what you're saying, but
Totally.
I guess that would be a flaw, but I've learned how to read a room somewhat and only think for those two men.
Okay.
Nice.
Fair enough. I would say I just keep, so I have ADHD, which shows up
Hold on,
differently.
for real?
Yeah, for real. Like, for real diagnosed, like, it's a
When was
thing.
this diagnosis?
A very long time ago.
Oh.
But yeah, and
never knew that.
I've lived with it, and it shows up very differently. But I've found that just like having a lot of things to do makes my brain work better. Like, I'm one of those people that if I have one day to do 12 things, all 12 things will get done. If I have a month to do 12 things, they'll get done the day before the month is over.
Yeah.
Right? So that's just how. So in my previous role, I led the Dollar Bank Three Rivers Arts Festival and I led First Night, and there's just like lots of moving parts with both of those events. Now in my DEI, there's a lot of like relationship building, and there's a lot. So just kind of like keeping busy makes me seem more competent than just
That's
busy.
Yeah, I love being busy. I could not go to a beach and just sit there. Anyway, sorry, that's a whole other.
Yeah, I'm not very good at that either. I've gotten better, but I'm still not super good at it. Like I sit on the beach and I watch my kids and then I play and I snack and we play and I'm like, wow, that was such a relaxing day. And Ryan has had to be like, look at your watch. You have like 7,000 steps. Because I was like, oh man, we just sat around all day. And he's like, I don't really think you did.
Yeah, I get it. How about you all? Any personality? I would love it for you to say I don't have a personality flaw.
Flawless.
I have too many to even count, but
Not true.
I think my shyness has made me, it's hurt my career because I feel like I can't talk to certain people. I mean, I eventually do, but I have to really push myself every day to do that. So every day that I'm doing my job, I'm out of my comfort zone. My job is an extension of me, so it's very difficult to do what I do and do it well whenever you're just like lack that confidence.
Wow.
So I think
Yeah.
that's a big part of me. I've always been shy, but I've always wanted to be a journalist. So I've been working my whole life to get over that shyness, and that's never going to go away. So
what do you, if you don't mind me asking, do you do something to sort of prepare yourself, or
I need
is
time before I need to do a lot of research before I ask people questions. And once I'm there, I'm just fine.
yeah?
But it's that whole lead up to it that I have to prepare and just.
Then you just seem super profesh because you come in with like all this knowledge. You're so prepared.
Yeah.
And I'd rather be that way and I don't even look
Yeah.
at my questions when I'm asking people because it just flew. Like tomorrow I'm interviewing a 93-year-old tombstone carver
Oh, cool.
who's worked for the same company, her uncle's company, for like 75 years.
Oh, wow.
So I'm thrilled
What?
to do this. But I'm also very nervous because it's so, I don't know, there's just a lot to say. I feel very, there's a lot of weight to tell someone's story.
Yes.
And I don't want to do a bad job.
Sure.
So,
And I think there's a pressure specifically for journalism because you are that voice for the story. You're the person telling it.
and I'm my harshest critic.
Yeah.
And so if I don't do a good job, I just, especially on something that's near and dear to my heart, as tombstones are. That's my last name. But, and it's weird because she probably, like her niece was like, oh, she probably like carved her grandparents' tombstones. I'm like, she probably did. So
There you go. Just channel that, right?
that's what I'm going to do.
How do you react afterward? Just sort of like victorious that it's
Yes.
over? Yeah.
And writing the story it's this feeling that it's like elation.
Yeah.
It's really wonderful to feel that you did a good job. And
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Bria?
I'm kind of on the same boat as you. I feel like when I was growing up, I was always told I talked too much. So I also growing up and being an older self, I kind of turned that down a little bit. And then when I became a DJ and this big personality, having a big personality, I started to talk a lot again, but only when I have like a mic in front of me or I'm on stage.
Yeah.
And being a personality and a performer, so like I feel like I'm taking some of my flaw and just kind of turned it to work for me. But I also agree that like I had to figure out how to maneuver around that and just kind of make it work. And like I feel like now I don't know what to say, but I feel like I just had to take that and take my shyness that I held myself down with at one point in my life to come out of that shell a little bit. So, does that make sense?
Yeah. It makes
Okay.
total sense.
it's like you're
And
mad
it's-
at yourself for being so.
Yeah,
Sure.
because I
Yeah,
got
like,
told
you
so many
recognize it is what
times,
you
like you
mean.
talk so much when I was younger, and then I'm like, okay, well, I just won't talk at all. So then I used that at one point, and I just stopped talking to people, and I became a really good listener, became very observant, and then like started getting in front of people, and then started to force myself to open up to talk. So
that's so cool though that you
so
took
cool.
that direct, like it literally never would have occurred to me when I was a child and I was told I talked too much and I was separated from people, you know, in class, like, oh, you can't sit next to this person or whatever.
yeah, that was
Literally,
me
it
all
would
day.
not have crossed my little brain to be like, I should talk less.
To simply not talk.
But that became
Not
later.
talk.
That came later when I was like teenage years. Then I like slowed down and stopped talking, and I'm like, I didn't really say much. But
is it interesting
now-
to either of you that, I mean, I know Jocelyn doesn't know you as well, but I would not have thought that, like, of either of you. And so maybe somebody like on the outside doesn't assume that that's how you are. And
But that's
interesting
usually
that
how
you
it
found
is.
these professions. What's that?
That's usually how it is.
Yeah.
People just think that I'm like extroverted 24/7, and I'm like at home, peace and quiet. Like, don't say anything.
I hear you. Same way. When you were talking, I was like, oh, there's some extroverted introversion
Yeah.
happening.
Sure.
Because like I feel very comfortable in front of a room, saying my piece, like giving my opinion. But I also like sometimes really dread talking to people. I'm like, oh, I really don't want to. I was at a conference last week and I was like, oh my God, I have to talk to so many people.
Yeah.
Like it's
so
not,
that's
it's not
me
like giving
often.
the speech, but it's like the mingling.
Yes.
Yes.
I can
Yes.
give a
Or
speech.
the-
I don't
the
want to mingle after.
socializing.
What
Yeah.
do they call it? Networking.
Yeah.
Oh, would you like
Yeah.
to go to this networking event? And you're like, no.
Yep. That's
Yet
what I
I
have
go
to
to so
prepare
many.
myself for
That's-
is stuff
Let me
like that.
register for it
Yes.
anyway.
That's my nightmare.
That's
And
your
I-
nightmare.
that-
I have to
I would
psych
say
myself up for it too.
That's my downfall. I have another flaw because I tell myself that I don't give myself that break. Like if somebody wants to talk to me, I have to talk to them. And I'm like, okay, and the joke is I don't walk away from a conversation. And that's why I'm in Giant Eagle for hours at a time. But it is true. I have told myself like, no, because that person is in need of you to have this conversation for whatever reason, whether it's school board, like they might grab me for school board, or they might grab me about the podcast, or they might grab me about one of my kids or something I taught, whatever. And I feel like I owe that person, but I don't know when my limit is. Like, I'm like, and then what are we going to talk
So we need some boundaries. We need to
Oh,
work on
right.
some
Boundaries.
boundaries.
That's a good
We
one.
need to
Yeah.
work on some- We'll put
That B
in,
word is put it in the bowl.
put it in-
Shelby,
put it in the
bowl.
what boundaries do you need? Is it like an Alexa? No.
No.
Siri, what boundaries do I need?
No, but I think it's a really unique question because I think it's perception too, because I don't think all flaws are bad things. I think they're just part of your makeup.
Whoever's question that was, I mean, that was the question. Is like,
I can't, was it you?
is it a flaw?
That
or
one
I
is
think
wasn't
it was
me.
me. I couldn't remember. I'll take it.
That was a good one.
Take it. It's a good one.
It was you.
I will take it. And again, we want to hear from you if there's something in particular that you want us to talk about, or if you want to know about other personality flaws that maybe we have experienced through the years. So, Sarah, this is your turn to shout out a woman who you perhaps met through your walk of life, through your art.
Totally.
Who do we know and what's the story?
We know so many artists, and we will do shout outs to artists because Pittsburgh is chock full of them. But today I want to shout out a different kind of artist. She's a sports medicine doctor and chiropractor. Her name's Dr. Stephanie Harkins. She has a practice in Swickley called Q3R. You guys, she's like magic. Do you remember last summer when I couldn't go to Colorado?
Yeah.
Because I was supposed to run. I was like, I can't run. My leg hurts. My hip hurts. And I just was like, oh, I'll walk it off, rub some dirt on it. And finally I was like, okay.
Wait, does rubbing dirt on the back?
Yeah. No, it didn't work. So I was like, somebody had told me, oh, she's really great, whatever. And she was in network. So I was like, all right, it's a $25 copay. I'll go try her out. She is incredible. She takes so much time. She does both, she does chiropractic stuff, but she also does training. My 13-year-old has a pulled hamstring, and he's going to see her tomorrow at 7 a.m. to get him back on the pole vault. But she's wonderful. She's one of those doctors, sometimes you go to the doctor and they're too chatty, or it's just quiet and weird. No, Rachel's I've never had that. No one's ever been too chatty.
No one's too chatty.
Not for me.
She strikes the right bit, and she remembers that she's very,
That's so
very,
important. Yeah.
like her bedside manner and her medical expertise are just chef's kiss. So Q3R, that's my shout out today.
And do
Dr.
you know
Steph.
what does Q3R stand for? Do you know?
I don't know.
So much for the research there,
But-
Christy.
Sorry. Christy would have
have it all written
get
on the
through
show
this.
Since we are on to artists or doctors, Bria, anybody you want to shout out?
I did want to shout out a venue here in Pittsburgh, a local like bar and party venue in Lawrenceville, Garfield area. There's a bar called Mixtape.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've never been, but I've seen.
You've got to go.
I've
It's
seen
really good. Yeah, they're the homies, owned by my friend Grace and Jeff. And Grace is primarily like the runner there, so I'm specifically shouting her out because she does a lot there. And they always come up with some really creative like cocktails. Their cocktail menu is always like just really cool and they're a theme bar too.
Yeah, I was gonna say
So
they're
like
theme
every
nights are
month
so
they
fun. Yeah.
change theme and like really do it over. You don't even know you're walking into the same place. Like Christmas, it's crazy. Halloween is crazy. Right now, I think they're Studio 54 kind of themed. So it's like
love
all
that.
disco balls and crazy like metallic everywhere. It's really cool though. But they do really cool stuff. They're a really small, little, quaint, intimate bar, and I DJ there all the time. So if you're ever around Lawrenceville, Garfield, Penn Ave, go check them out. Mixtape.
Awesome.
Good one.
Jocelyn, anybody?
Yeah, so we're just any sort
Yeah,
of
what's your
woman-owned
shout out?
business. Yeah. Honestly, the first one that comes to my mind is my sister Caroline's business. So I guess I'll use my family as an example.
Yeah.
She has a company called Goals Sports, which is a sports company that is all about women's sports. She's a women's sports consultant and a thought leader, and she does brand partnerships and has an incredible podcast. She should probably come here and give us some pointers. She's
Let's
like,
nominate her for Women in Business so she can come on.
you should. I think she probably has been
I'm
nominated.
sure.
But yeah, she has like the #1 women's sports business podcast, I think, in the world. So she's interviewed all these ridiculously famous people.
That is so
and
cool.
She
That's so
started it like during COVID all on her
Wow.
own. And
What's it called?
it's called Goals Sports.
Goal Sports.
Goal
That's
Sports.
the
Yeah.
That's the podcast.
Oh, the
too?
podcast is called The Business Case for Women's Sports.
Okay.
By Goals, I guess.
The business case for women.
Yeah, she
Wow.
now teaches at a women in sports business class at Duquesne. Hopefully I didn't say that wrong. It might just be sports business, and she does
Look
a
it
lot
up,
of women's
look.
sports business. But anyway, she lives in
Keywords.
Put it in a
Pittsburgh,
tagline.
and
Yeah, somehow the SEO will work out.
she's doing
We're impressed.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Good.
Yeah, she works with like the Riveters, which is the new soccer
Yes,
team.
yes.
She helps with their logo
Nice.
and a whole bunch of other
I have a
marketing
t-shirt.
stuff. Yeah. So
Great.
I'll
Way to
shout
go,
her out.
Sarah.
I do.
Anywho,
Gotta-
hear from you that if you have any story, any people, or any topics that you want to talk about, we are game, and we hope you write to. You can find out wherever you podcast or on the website for Pittsburgh Magazine or Yajagoff. Next Women in Business is May the 20th, and it is National Theory. Sarah and I are a little afraid of.
I like the
They have sloths.
I don't
too.
like birds
And they do
either.
sloth.
Yeah,
And skunks.
outside.
Not a
But we're
fan.
gonna go anyway because
We're gonna go and
be
support.
amazing.
Yeah. So
penguins
thanks for
are the women.
supporting us.
The penguins
and we
have
hope
tariffs now, so I don't know if you've seen
we
about this.
see you for the next episode of the Pittsburgh Her.
Bye.